hear you. Nope, I heard you clicking. We're doing it. It's happening.
Got the voice mod on.
Fucking hell! Why? Hold on.
There we go.
You a big...
Just big.
Yeah.
Which one was that? Some silly DJ one. It looked like AI DJ. Horrible. Terrible. Why does VoiceMod do this? Every time! Just a little surprise at the start of stream. This is why everyone should show up when I go live, so you can see if I have my voice mod on or not.
Spoilers. They always do.
They always are on. Even when I've checked it and I'm like, yep, we're on clean vocals, still ends up being something else. Because of course it does.
It's haunted.
Hi Luna. It is. It is haunted. Haunted. Oh, I said that wrong for a second. Or Dead Space. Haunted. It's haunted. You know what's haunted? The Ishimura.
Space?
Yeah.
Okay.
Basically the same thing, right? We exploded meat last time. That was cool.
Yeah.
That's mostly what happened.
They were a big meat. We fought the biggest meat and we
It was
won.
the largest meat that could ever meet. And we did win, and it was very exciting. Go us! High five!
But there's several thousand miles of distance in the way.
Well, it's fine. I have high-fived myself.
Okay.
As if we were high-fiving. Yeah. See, it's like, yeah. It's fine. We can work around the much space that exists between
The dead space.
the dead space. Yeah. We're just hopping right in. Apparently, I have just mindlessly clicked, and we're starting. And
Yeah.
I'm not gonna get jump scared by Kendra or Hammond reaching out to us.
This may be our last chance of getting out of here alive, Isaac.
Not getting jump
There's
scared.
An asteroid loaded up in the mining bay
Power.
waiting to be smelted.
We
If
just
you
played
attach the
yesterday. I
SOS beacon to it, you
remembered.
can launch it away from the ship to make a clean
Game's
broadcast.
easy now.
The
We've
beacon is in the
mastered
maintenance
it.
subdeck.
Listen,
You can
I
launch the
killed
asteroid
meat
from the control
yesterday. Nothing can scare me anymore.
Whole meat is
room. The control
destroyed.
room is locked.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like they keep an emergency access key on the processing
mhm,
subdeck.
Yes, yes, yes. Yes,
Can
yes,
be
yes.
easy, could it?
No.
I don't know how much more of this I can take.
How much you can take? Kendra, you're not doing shit. Oh my god. It's always me with her. What about me? What about
I'm
Isaac?
watching you do all this gross stuff.
No.
Like, yeah, you're the one fighting all the monsters, but she sometimes looks. Feels a bit ill when she does.
Nobody asks Isaac how he's doing. Not even once. I probably should not have tried to reload right as I was walking into a new room. It's fine. Nothing bad happened.
Fine.
Yeah, fine. Caution, sensitive electronic devices. Careful what you say to them. They might cry. It's me. I'm sensitive electronic devices. Yeah, we did a lot of upgrades last time, right? We almost have
Yeah.
full
Pretty
health,
dang good
which
on
is
upgrades, already.
yeah. Very excited about it. We're doing great on not mine. Ew.
Mine's crap, but at least afterwards you get width.
Yeah, I do kind of want that.
And the other mine's way out of the way. You never have to get that.
It's true.
Could go around the other way and get like all the capacity and stuff. There is another width there, but like, I know you're so close to the last damage.
Yeah, I might as well go this way, because then I can always kind of... Reload speed would be nicer. But I wouldn't really need to do that, because I can just get... I can get 2 capacities here. and then then capacity's there. So like,
yeah, that's
the more...
a lot of capacity.
Yeah, and who needs to reload if I just have 1,000,000 capacity, right? Go ahead and
9
get that
shots with the line gun is like...
Yeah,
There has to be a lot going on for that not to be enough.
Right? Yeah, we're happy with that.
I'm very excited to see how wide the width is now.
Wide.
The mine secondary fire on the line gun is so garbage and useless that it doesn't even have it in the second one.
Why is the one...
It's having problems.
Yeah, it's too wide. It doesn't understand. That does
That
look
is
pretty...
exciting. If the lasers can't even keep track of how wide it is.
Right? I'm cool with this. This is fine.
Probably makes it a little harder to like be super precise with
yeah,
like
but
where
do
you
you
hit,
need
but
to be?
it's the line gun. We use it to hit everyone, not to hit everyone, not to hit someone very specifically.
It's less aiming left and right and more aiming up and down, right? And I can still aim pretty great up and down with it.
It's fine.
I just gotta shoot for the legs or the arms.
You panic, you go, ah! You bring out the line gun, and then you
just
down a
wail
little bit and fire. It's fine.
Yeah. Okay, wait. Me use that. We have. I think we have too many of these. I'm gonna sell
quite a lot.
I'm gonna sell one of them because we do still have like a ton of inventory space, and these can go away. I need more plasma energy.
Yeah, we could buy some.
Yeah.
I know that we've only just about got enough for a node, but
yeah, but we also just upgraded some stuff.
Yeah.
So
we're starting to get to the point with upgrades where it's like we've got all the stuff that's like essentials, and we're in like nice to haves.
Yeah, I'm a little less hard pressed to get all the upgrades at this point because we got all the ones that we want, that we need, even.
All
we
the
get
like main
more
ones that we had to go for straight away, we've got.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Everything else, everything from here on out is just it's nice little bonuses.
Yeah.
I do want to upgrade the Ripper at some point.
Yeah, that's true.
But that's still, like, even now with 0 upgrades, it's still been doing real good. Hey, you're bleeding. Let me help you with that.
Subject is offline for some reason, Isaac. I'll see if I can run a bypass.
He head pop off. There we go. I was helping.
Can't get revived now. It's a necromorph.
You wanna... Okay.
I think we might have been on
Oh!
that one.
Yeah, we were... Where? Excuse you!
I can't remember if the left ambush or in the second one or the first one.
What is this? Stop! Ah, it's too many!
Just like, hey, this is the place that's been the one safe place the whole game. The loading screens between the areas.
Oh,
Let's fire a bunch of necromorphs into them.
let's not! Consider! Don't do that! I'm glad it's at least, like, the bigger one, but also they were still far too close.
It's very good. It's just the normal guys at this point, like, that you can absolutely deal with the
Yeah.
regular necromorphs. It's just very scary.
It was very scary. Sorry, I
Even
heard
when you
some-
like start hearing the noises, it's like, oh, I'm gonna have to deal with something after the doors open.
No,
And
I'm
it's
gonna
like,
have to deal with it now. Excuse you, all of you.
It's heckin' busy here.
This is the Necromorph Hangout Club. This is where everyone comes to just chill, take a load off. No, you have to go away. Is the thing. Well, I was hoping that the little guys were gonna come.
Don't see the little guys?
Yeah, I
I
thought.
think if you very carefully like kill them without shooting the torso, it doesn't make the little guy. You might actually just like hit them all at once as it was bursting out. I don't know why I'm there.
That's fine. We're not
Yeah,
mad
either
about
way,
that.
we're happy to not have to fight those little guys. They're really annoying.
They're so annoying. Let's just gunk a corpse real fast. That's where we came from.
If you light them on fire with the flamethrower and then do it, it's they don't hatch anything. But the flamethrower is such dead weight to be carrying around.
Just
It's
for
just not
the one
worth
enemy.
it.
It's
The one like kind of rare enemy.
Sorry.
You do like just batting their head off when they're at perfect head height.
Yeah. Okay, I think he's crunched enough.
He's pretty
We-
crunch.
He's pretty crunched. Oh, nope, nothing else for him. Understood. If we can get a stasis recharge station, that would be nice.
We're getting to the point where we have to buy our own
Yes.
stasis packs or
Oh,
use the items we
God.
find instead of selling them.
Ugh, horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like a quarter of a power node for one of those.
Yeah.
Pretty dang handy.
Where? I'm scared. We're gonna use the line gun for a little bit because we have so much ammo.
You'll be one-shotting them.
Yeah, it's real nice.
It didn't quite get him in one hit before, right?
Mm-mm. It took 2 or 3, depending on if I could, like, get any of their limbs on the second shot, which couldn't always happen. Situation here's got a lot worse. There's far more meat. Too much meat.
Whose meat is this?
Hello, store.
Whoever it is, you have to take back some of your meat.
You have to take the meat back. It's just too much. Stasis pack? So much money.
It's really expensive. We can probably wait for a puzzle or to find one. You still got 2 uses left. You still like half.
Yeah, but also
I mean, you can buy it if you want.
no, I don't want it is the thing, but I'm scared is the other thing. Here are the things. No, we'll wait.
Like how the like it doesn't always make like sense thematically, but like is that Isaac works for this garbage like evil corporation that means they have stores full of ammo and armor and everything that they could just give him easily.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
would be they could just say, oh, okay, you're the only guy who can save the whole ship. Have all of the ammo and the maximum upgraded suit.
But of course they're not gonna give him that.
But yeah,
You
they're
have
not
to
they're not gonna
pay.
do that.
I'm sorry, you have to pay for this danger.
It just kind of,
Where?
like, people have complained that, like, the ship does not look like anywhere anyone would ever want to spend any amount of time.
Yeah, but
So,
that
like,
also describes
yeah.
like a corporate office. So, you know.
He works with the.
Where are
It all
they?
just works. Like, this place was held together with duct tape before everything went wrong. So, like, every latent problem that the ship had before the crew were all zombified
Still
is
lingers
now all coming up
and...
at once.
Yeah. No, it's very
There's
good.
not the people to put on the fresh coat of duct tape every now and then.
That's Isaac's job now. Isaac
Yeah,
has to
it's
put the
just
duct tape
Isaac.
everywhere. Have fun, buddy. Don't have enough power nodes. Node anywhere? Oh. Meat. How
It don't make
much?
sense if you think like we're a spacefaring like species now. Why can't we build a place that looks like you'd want to be in it? But it is if you think like, well, they want to make all of the money, so they'd only give you the bare minimum.
Right? They are going to cut corners. They are not going to be
Absolutely.
nice. We see this every day already anyway. Why do you think that would change in space?
Everything's just very temperamental, incredibly dangerous machinery that can go wrong at the drop of a hat.
Put meat in just the wrong spot. It's all over. Yes, I spent 10,000 just to open this door. What about it? Crunch. No, it's a bad place, and it was bad before and continues to be bad.
Sorry,
And
went
I
on,
like
a
that.
weird tangent.
No! Do it.
I don't know. I've been thinking about it. It just really works for the setting.
Yeah, it does.
Everything sucks here. That's all you need to know.
It's bad, and you're right. You don't want to work here.
Exiting zero gravity.
Sorry, it's inventory management time. It's the part of the stream where I just run back to the store every 10 seconds.
That's fine. We've talked about, like, offline about, like, how when it tries to do, like, story, it doesn't really work.
It's
Like,
all about the
all the
environmental
stuff with Isaac and his wife. By the way, if you didn't know, Isaac has a wife.
Yeah, that's a thing that they vaguely bring up at one point and expect you to care about.
That were very good power node room, by the way. So,
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. It was worth it. We're very
like,
happy with it.
it just tells you everything you need to know, like, immediately. Does Dead Space, like, just by, like, looking at stuff, you just, it sucks here, everything's falling apart. We need to not have that happen while we're on board, so we have to fix it until we can find a way to leave. I think...
No, wait, no.
Why you like this bomb?
Great, we're line gun ammo.
I think we have to, like, destroy
Yeah.
the rocks or something.
Oh, are those... Okay. Okay. It's gonna
I
start
think
looking
there were a
around for
tutorial
things.
written on a wall somewhere. That was like, hey, these rocks can't be here.
Oh. You know what? I'm an idiot. I know what they want me to do. I understand. Sometimes it takes me a minute.
Anomaly destroyed. Are those meat rocks?
I think they're meat rocks. This is it, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just glanced at it and was like, oh, sign.
Well, I was wearing the entire time, so like...
No, where are you going? Meat rock.
I was not helping.
That's fine. There's 2 more. Where? You have to stop moving. Well, not like that. Oh, jeez. Have you told Gwen that she needs to be better about nap time? I think she needs to be better about nap time. I have, like, no plasma ammo. Again.
Keeps happening.
I don't know what you are, but you go in there now.
Oop.
Bye. This? Oh, they're still wiggling!
Oh, jeez.
Yucky!
Like they stopped that while it was flying.
Sometimes you just gotta stomp floaty things. Okay, where is there is? Please. Zoom! Please? Consider? Oh, that's a broken one. Okay. Great! Perfect! Get me over there! Isaac, you can jump there. I promise. Also, reload while we're thinking about it. Wait, this isn't the right one. It's over there.
The thing behind you. No, there's a little sign near you.
Oh.
You gotta restore gravity. Sorry.
I thought it was gonna be in that room. It's fine. Sir.
A henchman. Bomb guy. You can't take 3 line gunshots.
Right? Oh! Hi!
Sneaky. He didn't even aggle blaggle until you were
He
right
did
up on
not argle blargle. That was rude. No.
Finger another one.
I was trying to just get through.
It's bad here.
It's not good.
The explosion sound is like excellent though.
It's so good.
Just said to the Foliatis, like, hey, we need you to do like a big explosion, but it needs to sound like
But
like
make
a
it
meat
wet.
explosion. Yeah.
And they were like, I got you, fam.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just like I know exactly what you mean. Straight up.
Very good. Yeah, no, the noises in this game are top tier. In either the way that like I want to vomit because I am listening to these, or it makes me very happy because of how meaty it is.
And also just I can tell from the direction of the horrible thing very easily where I'm about to get on from next.
That's been very nice, honestly. I know, like, a lot of that, it helps a lot having headphones on for it, but even sometimes, like, in other video games, they just don't do it good. You cannot tell where something is coming from. It just sounds like it's there.
It'll get you into the control room so you can launch the asteroid. Don't forget to attach the beacon first.
Thank you for the stretch and the hydrate, buddy!
It seemed to start after
I
they
can do
removed
this.
the marker from the planet. God knows how long it was down there.
And a shrimp check! Okay. Stretch is complete. We are sitting up. And I can do a hydrant. You just have to take my word that I've done all these things, but I have. Thank you, Fred. How are you doing?
Getting the sound to like, you know, the like directional sound to be really good. It's not something like everyone will notice, and it's not something you can like show off in screenshots or whatever. So it's just not a priority a lot of the time. But Dead Space is like, it's all about putting the gameplay first and making everything feel great and horrible.
Thanks for the luck, friend. We appreciate the luck. I hope whatever you're doing is going well. Yeah, it's having directional sound in video games is, I would say, is important. But definitely like more important in a game like this. Excuse me, where?
Especially when you get like jumped from behind so often in this.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, and like in action horror, or just like any action game, I guess, really, it's incredibly helpful and very nice to be able to hear where the enemies are. Is this where you want me to go? It is. But it is definitely something that like you can't necessarily show off. But it's very much appreciated when you get into a game, and it makes it even more immersive, which I appreciate.
Yeah, it does.
Ripper blades. You keep giving me 1,000,000 Ripper blades. We don't really need anything else, do we? Okay.
Definitely good on health packs for now.
Yeah. Where is...
One guy didn't do a lot of damage when he hit you, but I think it was because you just started running when he attacked. Yeah. You're like at the edge of the splash radius.
We need to go down. But I want to go to that bench, because we have 3 nodes. I think we make a quick detour. Where am I going? Here. Yeah, which, like, in some instances, having, like, having, like, a visual aspect to, like, know where your enemies are can be helpful, especially in a game where it's, like, you are just in the middle of a firefight! Because at that point, there's so much sound! Okay, hold on. At that point, there's just so much sound anyway that, like, you can't necessarily differentiate where it's coming from. And so I get it, but also, it's kind of lazy.
This just works so much better for Dead Space.
Yeah.
Like, for one thing, since you're always listening out for where the enemies are, because it's a very useful tool being able to hear exactly what direction they're coming from.
Mm-hmm.
It does make you more susceptible to Blaggle jumping out in front of you. Also, like, a lot of the areas have, like, environmental sound that, like, messes with your ability to hear where the enemies are coming from.
Yeah.
Or when you go out into space, the sound is really muted and you basically can't hear anything.
Yeah.
It makes those bits where you're already on a timer, like, even more tense.
More tense, yeah. No, it's very good. I love it. Oop.
Did a really good job. Big damage.
I've made my choice. I was thinking about the Ripper, but we've got so much line gun ammo right now that making it as good as possible seemed like the right choice.
It's really starting to hit hard.
Mm-hmm. We're getting enough, like, big areas that have a lot of enemies in it, so being able to hit that wider area and taking out as many as we can in a single go seems kind of like a priority.
Yeah. You get jumped in corridors a lot too, so it's like very easy to see whether the line gun could come in handy.
I hear gurgling.
Oh no. You're not allowed in the lift.
Who is
You've already
snorting?
done that.
Who goes snort snort?
Is there a snout nearby?
Quick, get the pepper grinder. No, you're not allowed to be here. I haven't had a chance to kill the bodies. Ah! What happened? Stop! Stop! I have to reload! Holy shit, Isaac!
Fucking calm.
Oh!
Dr. Kai, what the hell are you doing?
Pulled the stabby thingy off.
Come any
This
closer,
little
and
proboscis
shoot him. Give me the access codes. to
said
cargo
that is
bay.
mine
Idiot.
now?
This is processing. Why the hell would I have codes to cargo? Don't
That was incredibly
Didn't even
rude of
want it.
them.
Sick of everyone lying
So
to me.
you don't get that?
It is
It's not
imperative
allowed?
that I get them off. Give me those
Ooh,
codes. I
semiconductor.
don't have them. Is this what you did to the captain? Go on. Shoot me to the vault.
I feel like that, like the audio log's just playing in the background, and everyone's panicking and freaking out, and I'm just over here being like, "Ooh, goodies!"
Completely lost it. Somebody call security.
Horrible, awful, terrible creatures. Okay.
I didn't know Isaac just fucking killed them if you won the quick time event after that grab, but that one will... I think it just like drains your health quite fast if you're not like hitting it, but that one does give you a unique death animation where I think Isaac gets necromorphed.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Oh my
I seem
god.
to remember. It's kind of cool.
Should reload, and I shouldn't waste it on him. Sorry, buddy.
Maybe he likes being wall man.
Does anybody really like being wall man?
He does.
Oh, okay. Wait, wait. No. No, that. Whee! Go ahead and use it.
Tiny little juice.
Give me the juice.
Thanks for Isaac.
Give me the juice. Where is the bad man? Stop! Stop!
These tents should not take this much damage from the fucking line gun. This is insane.
Right? I'll just do this. Where? You all have to stop what you are doing. He pooted. He went. It was very funny. Let your tools do the talking. Okay. Let me out. Let me out.
Isaac,
Hello?
is that really you? It feels like it's been so long.
Wife?
think that's wife.
Not
Hey,
a
Isaac
shooter.
has a wife.
Ma'am, do I know you? Hello? Okay. Okay.
The beacon's in the storage room next to you. I think I could disable the lock from here. Hold on.
And we're only slightly halfway through the game. Marker can't be in there. Slash, it can be, but I can't do anything with it yet.
She has a lot of health. She's got a very full spine. Is it rude to be looking at that?
Ah, wait! Ah! Saved your life.
Travis, that's our wife.
That's my wife.
No way.
My life. Excuse you? Sir, I shot you. Sorry.
Too many cops is in the way they're blocking the bullets.
Yeah.
Lady, do you think you could actually open that?
Right?
You
Ma'am,
could
I'm
finish-
running out of ammo here.
Okay.
And also they have so much meat shield, literal meat shield.
But I'll find a way.
Somebody's standing on 1,000 bodies.
This will all be yours.
Can't believe you do that to your wife.
It's her favorite thing, actually. This is how we bond. Travis, you're right.
Spikes. Isaac could always just throw knives at her to get her attention.
Horrible. Also, it's true. My wife is watching the kobolds
Isaac.
that I adopted.
Hey, I lost your signal for a while. You had me worried. I see you've got the beacon, so head
Oh,
to the mining bay
D&D
and attach it to the
nonsense.
asteroid. I've been running
Don't worry
trajectory
about it.
calculations, and if
It's
we
fine.
launch soon, there's a good chance the asteroid can reach
Yeah,
a safe
Here's-
distance to begin
Here's the
transmitting.
thing though, like you don't need
Still nothing.
Isaac to have like characterization outside. He's the guy who everyone needs, who everyone's counting on to do everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like no one else is left alive. He's the only one like out there. Seems to
just-
be the only one who's remotely competent.
Yeah, all that
Like-
needs to be known is that he has every job and it's bad,
It's
and
like-
that's it.
We talked about how like immersive the game can be, and then it's like, oh, by the way, your wife's here. It's like I don't have a wife. I don't have a wife, Dead Space.
Fuck off. This is horrible.
Gotta never go on this lift again. Bad
Yeah.
for you.
It's not good.
Really exploded.
Ow! Stop! Oh my goodness! This hallway just eats up all of my ammo. I'm not happy about this.
In Dead Space 2, they do go like further in on the like Isaac being a character who has character traits, which doesn't really work, but at least you don't forget that you have a wife.
It's a little more
in
present
between the
throughout,
little story bits. Yeah.
as opposed to just being like, oh yeah, and here's this. Oh yeah, remember this thing we mentioned once? That's a thing. Hey, don't forget. Also, rip it and rip it. I don't know if you could hear that, Fruity, but
I didn't hear her.
tragic. I was about to say trash. That's
Trash dick.
Also, welcome in, Guns of the Helgist.
It's
Ba-da-ba-ba. Where am I
kill
going?
zone right there, right?
Excuse you.
Got kill zone in chat.
It's fine. It's fine. Give me that. And we're going up. Is there anything else here?
I've got elevator access to the mining subdeck.
Health.
There are so many medium health packs
although I
around.
don't think it helps that
Yeah, I'm kind of
Now that you've got the
thinking
beacon
we
and key,
get
head
rid
over
of
there.
some of them.
It looks like the asteroid is held in place by some gravity
Oh.
Yeah, it's handy because they're not actually
Yeah,
that
knock those
useful
out before you can
anymore.
launch
It's
it.
only two sections, right?
Yeah, medium
They're
health
not,
packs
like,
have essentially
much-
become the small
Yeah.
ones for us. In that we use them right away because I don't usually have full health, but I'm not typically at like enough to warrant using like a large.
I think Ladge is always a full heal, no matter how much max
Hey.
health you've got.
Looney Dude Ren, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Here? Here. Okay. Shop before nodes.
Shop before bench.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, that's good.
I'm not gonna get rid of the stasis pack. 'Cause I don't want to have to purchase one later, and I feel like I'm gonna have to. Do need more plasma energy. Oh, this is horrible. How much is it? 35,000.
We have been, like, pretty much fine for inventory slots for a while.
Yeah.
So maybe it's not
Yeah, but I want
super
it.
priority. Yeah, we do want it.
Here's the thing. I
What if
want it.
none of the inventory slots were grayed out? What if we could just use all of them?
What if I just had it? No reason. Just what if I had it? Oh God, Stasis, why are you so horrible?
Definitely would have upgraded stasis if it wasn't just empty slots for miles at the start.
Yeah,
Ooh, we doing Ripper?
I think so.
Is it time?
It's time. Doing damage up. Let's go.
Big chainsaw. Space chainsaw.
Saw. Big saw go brrrr. That makes me very happy. Okay, going down? No. Where? Which floor? All the way down. Okay. I can't usually make too much sense of the map, but it does help me know which floor they want me on. So that's nice. What? Easy.
The fact that it's like actually a cosmetic upgrade does make it that little bit more enticing. I want to see if he gets like another shoulder pad.
Honestly, that's all I give a shit about. Like, we're good on inventory space. We've done really good on inventory space. Any potential damage reduction it could give me would be nice, but it's, again, not necessarily been... We've not been hard-pressed for it. But it does change how our boy looks. And that on its own. Oh, not all the
What?
way down.
Lift. Okay.
Mining? Mining is open now, which
Yeah, I was
it
gonna
was
say it used to be
closed.
locked, didn't it?
Yeah.
I understand.
Someone's gooping.
Very dusty out.
Fuck.
Just needed baby to die. Get out of the way.
Yeah. I hear another baby somewhere around here. There you are. Right. I do wish that the plasma cutter would change direction a little faster. It's very quick when you're not actually shooting or anything, but there's a massive delay after you've shot it between when you can actually, like, change its orientation.
Okay. I can see that being annoying.
Because there have been plenty of times that I've, like, tried to switch it because, you know, I have an enemy on the wall now, and I've just not been able to because the enemy is there and they are actively hurting me, and I can't be bothered to wait the 2 seconds. I need it to be immediate. Instantaneous, please. I've hit the button, do the thing. Isaac, please. Buddy. Buddy.
The like half second it takes to change just... Oh, fucking spider box. Awful.
It's fine, I
Stop
stopped
putting
them.
spiders in these.
That's not where those go.
Being a little delayed bad, but like not being able to do it right after shooting is bad.
Yeah, and that's the
Just the
that's the
difference between,
issue.
like,
Especially
yeah.
since like I can do this real quick here. But the second I've shot, if I try and change it, it's like, no, you have to try again. And it's like, I don't have the time, game. You've made sure I don't have the time. Please don't be rude to me like this. I'm gonna pick up all this
Processing
stuff.
log. Supervisor's second engineer down.
Oh, did I? I told him to shut up on accident. My bad, my guy.
I believe you've done this.
I can. We will sell one of these. I want you.
One day.
1,400 off. Should save. Let me save, game? Game, consider? Let me save? Then do it! Speaking of, I forgot to set up our Wholesome Week thing. I'll do it for next time. I'll do it for tomorrow. But yeah, do it, Merbeck. Also, hi, friends. How goes?
Oh yeah. Are we doing Dead Space? I imagine we're not doing Dead Space on Wholesome Week. Are we
No,
skipping
no, no,
that
no.
one? Yeah?
No, I need to,
Just had to make sure.
Nah, no Dead Space for Wholesome Week. This is the least wholesome.
Wholesome Dead Space.
No, I need to set up the community challenge though, so everyone can try and.
Oh, do you... I understand. Oh no, I don't understand this.
It's his arm. His arm is stuck.
Sam is dancing.
Okay.
Perpetual motion machine now.
Oh. Oh!
Hey!
You need to stay on the ground. Ah! Things opened. I got scared. Oh.
There's definitely some noises around.
Being able to hear the arm just wiggling around out there is
Oh
not
yeah, that's what that is.
helping a ton. Yeah, it's just forever wiggling out there now. What am I doing here? Things? Node.
Good find.
Tethers must be activated. Okay. Yes, so this is where I'm supposed to go afterwards. I understand. Down.
We were out for a wander. God, please.
Arm just does what it wants. I have voice mod. the brand voice mod. I have a list somewhere. I might not have actually like put it.
Is there like a command?
There might be specific voices with voice mod. I might have one, I might not.
I'm.
Okay. I thought you pulled that up. That's incorrect.
I did not. That's
Okay.
not.
Yeah, I
not
was like,
my-
that's incorrect. I don't have a list at the moment, but I will make a list. I have, because I have specific ones set up that are, can be heard. Fan favorites.
Lobster Man.
Not allowed
Banned.
Lobster Man.
There's a lobster ban in effect.
There is a Lobster Man.
Horrible.
Ones that people tend to like are Baby, Titan, and Evolver, I think? No, Party Time. Party Time's the one that everyone likes. But I also have Magic Chord. I got Deep. I got The Demon. We got Echo. We got 5 minutes of voice mod. Yeah, what you want, friend? Also, how are you doing? Howdy. Creepy doll.
Oh,
That is a
jeez.
new one. We can do that. I'm gonna click it. And y'all have to tell me if you can understand what is being it's loading. It's thinking about it. There it is.
Ow! How does this sound? How horrific and awful is this one? You get those background effects out of here. We don't want those.
You can't really hear anything you're saying.
Oh, it's just nonsense. So, is that better?
It's kind of intelligible.
Okay.
Oh no, I'm horrified. Unsubbing.
That's something. Okay. These are only betas. Yes, you. Yes.
Hive mind. What's hive mind like? I don't know if we like this one.
Hive mind is a lot. It's a big one. I can tell it's saying though.
Well, that's good. Maybe we take a quick moment to look through all of our voice mods and add a few more, and then I'll add that to my list of things that I have to do as well. Make a list. Cute. There is cute.
Is this a chipmunk one? It seems like it would be a chipmunk one. Creepy doll sounds like a creepy
It's
child
like
in a
half
Rocky Mountain.
baby is cute.
Okay. Okay. But it's different from baby, right?
Yeah. It's
Okay.
like halfway between baby and normal voice. It's
Ah,
baby light.
baby light. we can do cute.
She's
Yeah,
cute.
I'll have to. I will go through all because they've added so many since I moved. Sound like a chibi. Ooh, woo.
One of those
need-
animes.
It's one of those animes. I need to go through everything. And
Small
make
slash
sure.
medium child, not a baby.
Not a baby. A toddler, if you will. Chipmunk sounds Yzma when she gets turned into a cat.
Yeah.
It's a good
Yeah.
one. Alright, we'll do cute. I'm gonna put the 5 minutes on now. Yeah, I'll make sure that I go through all of our voice mods here in the next couple of days and make a list. Excuse me, I did not want to quit. So that you can see which ones we have and can choose from those. Oh, I know I can set it up like that, and I've considered it. But A, we haven't used it in a very long time, and there is so many that I don't necessarily like. I don't know. It can get a lot. There are so many of them. Excuse me, what's happening? It's wet here. No! You have to leave! You have to leave!
Hey!
You cannot be here! I do like it when they get yeeted into the sky. It's very
Nice
good.
watch.
Yeah.
And all the bits go all over.
Yeah. Perfect. Wait, I needed to grab that battery. Okay. Great. Yeah, I think most of the time when we did voice mod stuff, it was when I was in a game that I was screaming a lot in.
Yeah.
And we haven't had one of those in a while. So Dead Space is a great game to be checking out our voice mods with again. And also reminding me that I need to, like, actually do anything. It's fine, we're all easily distracted here.
Dead Space was a good idea.
Dead Space was such a good idea. I'm so excited for the new one. Even if it ends up being shit, it's just... it's been fun! I hear...
I'm gonna rip that dang game a new one if it's garbage.
Honestly, though. Yay for streaming and having a nice holiday! This makes me happy.
Doing good on exam.
Nice! Hooray! Oh no!
It's not great.
Snot great?
Oh.
I'm sorry that you've not been feeling well lately. And that it's been not good this week. But I'm glad that overall you've been doing well. Yeah.
These are the peaks and valleys on the sine wave that is life. Hope you get well soon. I fucking hate this orb. I remember this orb.
What is this orb?
It's a bad orb.
I don't remember this orb. Is it egg? It's making horrible noises. Is egg.
At some point you have to go on the orb.
No!
Right. You have to ride the orb.
I don't... Ah! Sir,
We're smashing bodies! How rude!
Right? Listen, I hear a baby. I don't know where it is, but I heard it.
Babe, you all been over there?
It's not a baby.
We'll find the just
Flail?
fly around grabbing it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very... It's not a great thing to turn around and spot for the first time, right as they're
No.
about to hit you.
It's the Gribbler.
The Gribblin. That's a gribble.
I think I
Just
saw
the
another one
shadow
wiggling.
just pass over you.
There he is. I also saw it and I did not like it. You cannot take this many bullets. This is illegal.
Tough lads. Tough gribble.
You...
If you pick anything, you die, and everything sucks. Yeah.
Oh. Voice mod
Yeah.
time is over. Hold on a second. Wait a minute. Hold on a second.
Okay. That was your 5 minutes of voice mod. All done. I have to pick everything up again. No.
Yeah, it might be better to like clear out all the enemies and stuff and then save and then...
Nope. We're clearing it out and then saving. And then coming back.
Yeah. And then come back, yeah.
And then maybe I'll be able
After
to
you
get...
kill those scribblers.
Yeah.
Guess it's just very easy to get instant killed on the orb.
Honestly, though. Also, congrats on getting affiliate!
Nice!
Hey, y'all should go follow Murbeck if you don't already. Thanks for stopping in, buddy.
See you, buddy.
Take care. Have a good rest of your day. Oh, no yawns.
Can't believe you've done this.
I can believe I've done this. I'm a monster. A yawny monster. Okay. Shop. Nope, that's not a shop, but it is bench, and I do have a thing. So,
Can see you there, shop taunting us.
increase our capacity
Unbelievable.
here. Yeah, yawny monster. No, yawn. Yawn, yawn. Oh! You can't do that!
So, where did you come from?
What the fuck?
Very good.
Where did he come from?
Came out of the sign that said, "Watch out for electric."
Ugh. Horrible. Awful. Excuse me.
Bless you.
Thanks. Get those ripper blades out of here. We still don't have enough.
We're so close, though. Any minute.
No, I can't sell anything and get enough. I can't swing it at all. Well,
I mean, you could do, but up to you.
ah, no! Get back in there, Isaac. We have to. Where did he come from? Where did he go? Where did he come from? Cotton-eyed morph. Didn't work as well, I'm sorry. I tried, and it was bad. Get in the pod!
Pod in.
What are we getting as a new suit? I am very excited. More
Oh, he's got the little
lines!
straps all over him.
Very liney.
Indestructible, I should imagine.
And an even more reinforced spine.
And a better mask.
Yeah. Yes.
He's got 3 blue lines on his face now, which is symbolic of the 3 points of the plasma core. We have become the most powerful weapon.
Yeah, necromorph, not deadites. There'd be more taunting and maniacal laughter.
Remember to do a sieve. Sorry.
Yeah. No, thank you.
I just remembered when I saw the thing.
I was looking around making sure I'd done everything. And we've now saved. Let's go!
Covered in so much stuff now.
Yeah. Much gubbins.
All of the gubbins.
Actually, would these be considered Greeblies?
I think that's a Greeblies.
Greeblies. I was just about to ask DK, has anybody else seen the trailer for the new Evil Dead, and are you as excited as I am? Because I am excited. I liked the remake from, what was it, 2013 or something? I know, like, a lot of people were not as into it, and I think it's just because as Evil Dead fans, we all have, like, a weird hard-on for Bruce Campbell. Which, fair, makes sense, but I liked the approach that they did. Yeah, the very end of the movie was super great. Excuse you. And so I'm hoping that they do a similar approach with this one. Hi, Akos! Alright, fair, Travis. Where? Where is...
We know there's at least 3 of them because so many we killed last time.
You need to stop wiggling around. Bruh. My guy.
The little wiggly, like, fly looks very silly, but
But it's also
Wait.
horrific.
you always fight them in 0G, and sometimes in vacuum, and then you just can't hear them. You don't know where they're gonna...
And then you turn around and it's just flying
Yeah.
at you, and we hate it. Where am I supposed to put this on here? Also, watching to see how much time I have between. Not a lot of time. Also, I'm doing good, Akos. How are you? We have more time when it moves over there.
They're just 2 quick ones, and then you gotta get on the perfect line.
Isaac, I need you to move faster. Isaac, I need you to move faster. Isaac, I need you to move faster.
Ah! Fucking guy. Could we, like, walk around to the back of the orb? Is it better
Possibly.
there? Is it safer? On the dark side of the orb.
I'm so mad about that, though.
Yeah, you timed that, like... You're gonna time that better. It's just, it takes so long for stupid animation.
Isaac, you're horrible.
It just seemed, like, very relaxed to be doing
Yeah,
that
it's just
incredibly
like,
long animation.
whatever. It's fine. No rush.
Definitely
Show
done
me
that a lot faster.
vibes. I was looking away and was like spamming control to like jump away as fast as possible. Where? There. Last one where? Hear him. Do not see him
Dribbling
though.
out there somewhere.
The Gribbler. There you are. Okay.
Alright, Isaac. You don't like me and I don't like you. We need you to kind of hustle you.
Right.
Think you'd be good on the other side of the orb? You might be in space, but you don't take like a minute for him to do this, right?
Entering vacuum.
Yeah, just stand in space and do it.
This is fine.
Stay over there. Big male things. Oh god, there's a baby.
Exiting vacuum.
It's fine.
You did.
Where is it?
Where are you,
There
space
it
baby?
is.
What? Okay, never mind. Touch the first one.
Baby got fucking owned!
Baby got on.
Oh, that was very good!
Exiting zero gravity.
Where are you going, Isaac?
Where are we going?
Isaac!
Isaac?
Entering zero gravity.
Isaac, what the fuck?
Isaac.
Zero gravity.
Why does he want to go out and go back in the other door?
Me right now? Isaac, what are you doing?
Entering
Isaac is
zero
confused.
gravity.
Is it that big wibbly thing next to you? Do we do something to the big wibbler? Do we go back on the orb? Do we leave the room again? Isaac is confused. Big Wibbler.
Ah! I don't think I should have been staring at that.
Fine, you got that big mask on. Wish you had one in real life.
Yeah. My poor eyeballs. I don't want to stand on that grating. There's something about it that makes me not trust it. Also, I saw a box somewhere. There.
Yeah?
Do kind of like stomping on things while they're floating. Where are you going?
Another wibbly thing. Okay, he has to be in a very specific spot at the side of these, according to the objective, and like, it has a hard time working out how to make Isaac go there. I understand. Is all broken? Is the
Could I
orb
have-
safe?
Oh, no, it's
No.
still moving. Okay. I was like, could I have just broken those and not, like, dealt with the fear? No, the fear is still present. Whee! Where? Stop. Don't make me go back out there.
Entering vacuum.
We got space?
I'm very confused.
Oh, down there at the side of the orb. There's this path. Yeah, they're right in front of you. Past the, like, rim of the orb, there's a path you can walk on.
I'm an idiot and I don't see nothing. Hold on. We're going back in here so I can get my air back.
That's fine.
Move.
Hey, danger orb. Why you like this danger orb?
Entering vacuum.
Oh, don't touch that.
Yeah, you can walk on that. Oh, there's more fucking spinny thingies.
Yeah.
Who would put this in space?
Me.
Why would you do this?
Reasons.
Look what you've done to my boy. There might be one on the other side, but I like the idea of going back in and getting air.
Yeah, we need air first.
We'll probably be fine, but like, I'd rather definitely be fine. This is
Yeah.
tough spot.
I don't want to have to do all of this over again, is the thing.
Space is scary.
Space is bad.
Dead.
Please, just jump.
Entering vacuum.
Space meatball.
It is dead. Not the space meatball.
Warning. Payload 8
Oh, good shot.
is no longer tethered. Untrained personnel should leave the area immediately.
Did that mean the orb is gonna leave?
Maybe.
Worried.
Yeah, I need to not be on the orb, but also I can only get off the orb so quickly. Do I have to do...
What you want,
Where-
idiot?
Where was that going?
It was wiggling. It was wibbling and wobbling.
That's too much.
Possible
Okay.
fall.
Zero gravity.
And we'll refill our stasis one more time. Cool.
Didn't even got no legs. One idiot.
Cause I'd be stomping corpses.
You're the one we skipped. But there's like an audio log where there's like a bunch of people like, oh, we're gonna turn in a necromorph. Time to chop off our own legs. And then the rest is just people going, ah, my leg! It has got worse in here. Have we
Yeah,
been?
it's... I think so? Yeah,
Did
we
do
have.
this?
I think we did this. I think I need the battery from over here.
I'm sure that's fine. We'll simply get it.
Simply, we say.
Yeah, you're a wizard. Just
Near the fire!
batteries actually work better if you cinch them a little bit. Isaac knows that as an engineer.
Okay. Hey, not even an issue.
In 10 minutes.
Din Din! As long as it's not mystery meat.
As long as it's not anything with me.
As
Or
long-
near me.
Just remember, it'll send Isaac into a blind rage.
He will stomp an entree if it has me on it.
Oh, heck. Get rid of one of those. Get rid of one of those.
I think we've got easy space to just carry around stasis pack in case we need it and just not worry about it too much.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
We're gonna buy a couple of those. One more of those? Yeah. Yeah, I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
And save.
Never again will we have to orb.
Never again. Oh, it was horrible. Orb bad.
It's just kind of a long and confusing section with the threat of an instant kill. I remember I must have been dumb as hell when I first played this. I got killed by the orb a lot of times.
Well, considering that
Kept getting hit by the things.
Considering that the breadcrumbs were as lost as they were,
Yeah.
it makes sense. Had you not pointed out, like, where the path was, I would have just been like, I don't fucking know what's going on here. And would
Yeah,
have
that's true.
got stuck there for much longer.
Beacon's on its way.
I was just kind of looking for like a flat surface, but nothing else about it said like this is walkable path where Isaac should be right now.
Yeah.
I thought I saw my brother again. He waved to me, like nothing was wrong. Okay. I should be able to leave this channel open. What? The comms array receiver isn't responding. Isaac, can you get back to the bridge? We need that array online or we can't receive signals from anyone responding to the beacon.
Ma'am, I don't want to go anywhere anymore.
I don't want to be around anymore.
Quarantine activated.
Fuck.
Eh.
I tried to reload before and it looked like it was fine. You have to stop!
Yeah, they have a lot of health of those, like bad-looking ones.
The very goopy ones. Oh. Just reload everything real quick. Maybe we stick with the river for like our hallway
Keep getting ammo
encounters.
for it.
Yeah. We might as well
It's
use
pretty
it.
good if they're all on one side here.
Yeah.
And none of them are the babies.
Babies are invincible, I swear to God.
You can like do plasma cutter stuff, but it's way worse at it than the plasma cutter. But you know, it's you just want to use the one where it keeps the saw out in front of it.
Yeah. Isaac!
Isaac, why are you on fire?
The fool! I've gone too far. Okay.
Can't believe Isaac lit himself on fire.
For real!
That's a silly thing to do.
Isaac, I know it's cold in space, but come on. You can't be that chilly.
Right.
And now exist in the corners and elevators.
Rippers just don't quite cut it against those.
No.
Yeah.
Sir.
I didn't mean that as a pun also.
I was too distracted to realize it. No. No. No! Bad face huggers. Do not want.
It's the hand face huggers and the face hugger.
Yeah, yeah.
They're all bad.
They're all bad, and I don't want anything to do with any of them. Okay, there's nothing else that we need or want. Well, no. How are we on ammo? Better ammo? Or not better ammo? Yeah. Only 7.
Very reasonable to just buy plasma car anytime we're worried about it. It's not expensive.
It's like I'll still use the other weapons primarily, but I feel better having it on me just in case.
It's just really good.
Yeah. Everything else has been got here. Okay, now to face our biggest enemy yet, the stairs. We got it in 1.
Straight up. That's right.
You just kind of have to, you know, line yourself up with it.
Yeah. Isaac just needs a minute to prepare, to think about how he's going to tackle this obstacle.
Actively has to think about it. Can't just approach stairs. What are you? Person who lifts their feet up to walk? Ridiculous.
Things are looking up.
Didn't even get
A
me.
military ship just docked in. The USM Valor. I don't know what it was doing out there. It must have gotten our distress signal.
They're getting the bad
We can't
neck
talk to
horse
it
now,
until
huh?
the comms array is fixed. I'm gonna hack the door to communications for you. Get in there and find the comms control station.
Kendra, is now a bad time to put in my 2 weeks notice? Hello?
Now is exactly 2 weeks and 1 day. Too late to put in your 2 weeks notice.
Then how about I quit on the spot? Can I do that and take like a shuttle home or something? Well, I don't think I'm equipped to handle these jobs anymore. Heard something in here. Give me those credits. Hey, Bench, how many, nodes do we have? None. None nodes. Understood. Perfect. Great. Lovely. wonderful, even.
Tragic.
Eh! Too close.
Oh, there's more in there. That were a bomb boy.
Ah, ah, ah!
I think there might be a brew as well. No, it's just bomb boy.
Ah!
Yeah, you were getting hit by that. That were unfortunate.
Yep. Oh god, they're so fast. Ah!
Little bastard. Little gribbling bastard. You saw what he did. You saw him gribble.
I did see him gribble, and I hated it. Ugh. Bad, horrible, miserable, awful, terrible. Did not appreciate. 0 out of 10. Okay, is
Just
there
like
anything
for
else
the
I can
bomb
do?
boys instantly drop their item. You don't need to hit them again. Just that
Yeah.
they don't leave a corpse.
They've exploded.
Yeah.
There is nothing left there.
It's very polite of them.
It is. Oh, shit. Okay. There was a small med pack in there somewhere, I guess. This is fine. Oof.
Fine.
Oh, you want me to go to the up elevator?
Oh, gee.
I'm sorry, there are 3 of them here. Excuse me while I get a little confused about which elevator to take. Could not see.
We're going somewhere.
The communications is open, but I've been getting some weird feedback spikes on the local comms. I think someone's listening in on us, so be careful.
Is it that weird doctor man? I'll kill him.
Oh, be a doctor man.
Witness evolution. Sir? No. Oh,
Come on, please take away this large immovable boy. Why you not cut those tentacles?
I don't know, but I'm not
So
happy
weird.
about it. He's
Did he
dead
die,
now,
though?
though. Yeah.
Does a ton of damage at least. It's good against the big ones. Inexplicably not functional against the tentacles. Oh, are you kidding?
Okay, this is a situation where I have to cut all of his tentacles off.
Makes sense.
Please?
Tents have so much health up here.
Yeah, this is obscene. Jesus Christ. Stop! Oh my god!
They normally drop decent treasure. Let's see what that was.
It was Ripper ammo
Never mind, they dropped just regular ammo.
and line gun ammo.
Wallman. Yeah, but it wasn't even like a big line gun ammo. It was just 2 line gun ammo.
Yeah. Oh,
Okay, I
great!
guess
More
they
Ripper
really want you
ammo.
to have Ripper.
I don't want Ripper though. Is there?
Ripper did an okay job.
It's
Actually,
fine.
It just needs more upgrades, but we haven't. Maybe it just needs more upgrades.
Maybe.
Just don't like the big scary man. Okay, I think you just ripped a person.
Oh!
Wiggle.
Ah, 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 ah. Ah! No!
That's where the head traps come from. The Wiggle Man. Oh jeez. Oh no. I know. I know I could do that.
I have no ammo!
You got Ripper. You got Ripper, so
Listen!
having a Ripper to prove himself.
Ripper is not gonna prove itself. I need a shop. I need a shop real bad. Did not like Tall Man.
Gonna become a Beyblade master in space.
Let her rip!
Exactly.
Get out of here. Be gone. Great, a bench that I can't use. Can I have a shop? Hey, game?
Game, it's not fair to make someone fight 2 of the stupid wall man without a shop.
I need a shop. What's in the shop? Please, please. Is there a shop where I'm going? Maybe?
I would say yes, definitely. I didn't read the map though. It's just vibes.
There's stasis,
There is a long line.
and there's a save point, and there is a...
Objective.
Yeah. I just want to shop. I just want to shop. I just need to buy some things. I need to sell some things, and I need to buy some things, and I need a
We
shop.
don't need no dang shop. We don't need the
Communications
you
log.
stinking
First
shop.
Operator Bailey
I
report.
need to
The ship is
stinking
under
shop.
attack, but requests to issue a distress call have been repeatedly
Oh, hey, a
denied by
power
Captain
node.
Matthias. He won't say it,
Is there another
but
fucking
everyone on the
left?
bridge knows why. This is an illegal operation in a prohibited system. We've all known for months, and we kept our mouths shut.
Doesn't
Not
look.
anymore. Mayday, mayday, mayday. This
I'm not gonna
is
say
USG
enough.
Ishimura. This is... Hell. I don't believe this. The whole comm system is offline. Now he's gone too far. Bailey out.
I like that my blade just could not keep up with that.
It was very confused.
Shop?
Communications array offline. A service technician has been notified.
That comms array is in bad shape. We need at least...
Kendra, I know. You want to know who else is in bad shape? Me, because I haven't been given a shop.
You're fine.
I need a shop.
Got almost full health. You got 6 bullets in your gun. That's enough for a cowboy.
Got 10 actually.
Even better.
I only have 3 of these though.
Because you got Ripper Blades for days.
Too many Ripper Blades if you ask me.
Ugh,
Hey,
a
another
whole
power node.
week's supply of Ripper Blades.
Think of all the space trees I could cut down with all those blades. More things that I can sell. If only I had a shop! Oh, jeez, okay.
There ain't enough shops in space.
In space, no one can let you shop.
I don't normally build them out there. Yeah. It's not a lot of commerce there. Commerce? I meant traffic, but I said commerce. The reason there's not a lot of commerce is because we don't build the shop there. Like every now and then a Tesla drives past, but otherwise it's just desolate.
Sir, you can't just ignore my blade. There's another one and I hear it and I don't know where it is. You're coming to me! There you are.
Just not quite doing enough damage.
Oh! I couldn't tell if that was a corpse or not!
Was not. Isaac, how come your stomps are so powerful normally, but not at this moment?
But not when I need them.
I need the big stomps, Isaac, not the little stomps.
Isaac, you
This
gotta
is a
get your
big
big boy
stomp
stomps out here.
situation.
He's leaking.
It's leaking worms.
Yeah. Do you think he knows Weevil, bruv?
This is the final form of,
Oh god.
if you can't reconcile with the worms, this is what happens.
Gotta be a bug master like Weevil, bruv, I guess.
Yeah.
They'd never succumb to the worms. Okay. Where do you go?
The one in there's broken, I understand. I thought you were like a bit of random debris, but I think it's a bad.
Yeah, well, I also thought it was like a bit of debris, and so I was like, oh, I'll just knock it out of the way, and then it was just very funny.
Wiggle it out of the way.
Yeah. I guess. Yeet. Yeet. Yeet.
Is this a puzzle? Is there specific ones we need to do? Oh, it just says on the wall, it's fine. Oh, does that say which ones are fixed now?
It says which ones are fixed now.
There's still 2 more around the outside, and then
Yeah.
that'll let you do a full ring.
Yeah.
I just don't know if that's what we need.
Just trying to get all the bad ones out. Do wish I could run while I'm kinesising.
Yeah.
Oh, what are you doing? Hey, there you go. And over there. Dang. Come back. I need you.
Hey! It's that easy, you just do a full ring.
I appreciate that it wasn't more complicated.
Yeah. The puzzles in this are more to be like downtime between action
Mhm.
bits rather than to be like actual puzzles that you need to think about.
Gives you a breather, and I like it.
The tell was that when you put one in on the middle, I just if anyone missed in chat, like the flower lighting up a bit, and they're like connecting.
Are we sure that's working?
This is USM
This looks
Valor,
fine.
widecasting on all frequencies.
That's an
to
Iron
USG
Man.
Ishimura
Oh
in
no.
response to your SOS. We picked up your escape pod, number 47, and are en route to your position. This message will repeat every 30 seconds until you respond.
What? Isn't that the escape pod Hammond jettisoned?
LOL.
One of those things was on board. No. No, this isn't going to happen. USM Valor. Come in, Valor. Our signal isn't strong enough. I'm going to open the blast doors to boost the signal.
Error. Blast door blockage detected. Please contact a repair technician.
So we gotta get
That's
the meat out of the way.
There's something big on the hull of the
Oh,
ship, directly
jeez.
above the comms array. Something organic. I don't know what it is.
Yeah,
and I
no,
don't
it's
care.
meat. It's
We have to
meat.
destroy
Always
all the
meat.
trains to the Valor. You should have a clear
Kendra,
shot
I know
from
what it is.
ATS
It's
cannon
meat.
48. Get to the cannon.
Oh, do we
blow it
have
out
to get on
into
with
space.
those asteroid guns again?
It's fine. It was fine last time. It's not too
Yeah,
bad. I do remember that section just being absolute hell with a controller, just because it was so slow. Why? Okay, my buttons were gone, but, you know,
Okay.
that's fine.
It's fine, we'll just remember where the buttons are. No problem here.
I've saved often enough. Where did Corpse go?
Who took cops?
Where'd he go?
Still my friend.
Baby stole corpse.
Hit
Classic
baby
baby
move.
move.
Same. How did he use the live? How did you do that, Meeman?
Very carefully plot it. Just use the. You have
The
to
very
leave.
tips of the.
Yeah. Sorry,
Shall
you
we might get
gotta.
stuck in the floor again?
Yeah, we're just gonna clear the elevator. I wouldn't want him to get pinched, you know? Also, we have a couple of nodes. Whoa! What were we gonna do, Ripper?
Could do Ripper. Could just eat Ripper if it's
Yeah.
being annoying by. Does it get duration upgrades? Two of them and they're pretty close to that reload node.
Yeah, but the big issue
The damage
has.
is very scattered.
Yeah, it's not. I don't think it's worth it, and that makes me very sad. We could just do line gun and plasma cutter. It's tragic.
And like fully upgrade health and just
Yeah.
be laughing.
Yeah.
If one of your guns isn't pulling its weight, it is like kind of a big problem because then a third of the ammo pickups you get are for the gun that's not pulling its weight, and it
Mhm.
seems like way more than that actually.
Honestly, though,
You end up with just piles of it.
I think it's time to get rid of it. This is
I love you, Ripper.
tragic. Ripper.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not doing it now.
It's just those bigger guys that you really can't deal with, and we're gonna be fighting them more and more.
And even like the littler ones, we're getting more of the extra
bomb
goopy
ones.
ones. And so
Yeah,
it's
that's what I meant. The like extra goopy ones, it just doesn't do enough damage for.
yeah.
Like it'll kill the bomb ones, but also they'll blow up in your face.
Yeah, I don't like that. And I'd much rather use the like 1 or 2 shots from the plasma cutter. to get rid of the bomb boys from a safer distance.
Does all come back to the fact that the plasma cutter is kind of just unreasonably good.
Yeah. Yeah. It's been nice to have like some variety with the guns, but we gotta focus now.
Yeah, we're gearing up for endgame now.
Yeah. We do want to go to the shop, which is just outside this door. I remember this shop.
From what I remember, for like when people play this, just going 2 weapons is normally like when people who are good at the game and are replaying it, they normally just do like 2 weapons.
That's fair.
Didn't say nothing earlier because we
want to see all the things.
Yeah, you came to you came to that decision independently.
Yeah.
It's fun to mess around with all the weapons.
Yeah. We are going to buy some ammo. Sorry, started stuttering there. It's fine.
We are rich as shit.
Yeah, we are. So we're gonna get 3 more?
4 more would be an almost full stack. 3 more would still let us buy 4 power thingies.
Mm-hmm. Then power node up.
Power nodes now. Jeez.
Listen, we want to get that health, and we just want to power up our weapons a lot. Ooh, hi! How did I miss you?
Easily max out his health now.
Yeah. The thing was downstairs. No, upstairs, because that's where we came from. Okay. It's inventory time. Always inventory time. Never not inventory time.
This is the inventory dance.
Here? And...
Oh,
yes,
I
Canon,
think
that's where we're,
that's
that's where we're supposed to go. Okay.
Good find.
Perfect. Let's go ahead and get that health upgrade. And then you do reload or speed or capacity.
The line gun upgrades, like it needs the upgrades more, but I do wonder if you did speed on the plasma core, if it'd help with the swapping and then shooting. Yeah.
Potentially. And do I want to do another... Do I want to do a reload for them, or do I want to set up for... reload and... Well... Could go more capacity and then get a width and 2.
Capacity on the line gun's pretty good. Because you don't really want to have to reload it in a fight.
Yeah.
It's kind of slow.
Oh.
Oh, jeez.
It's fine.
We don't give a shit about the mines, so there's just no point using them, but
yeah.
Hey, Width has been pretty fun, and there's another one on there.
Yeah. Okay, so we've got a fair amount of ammo. I just need to be better about aiming. It's hard. Things are happening very fast. They wiggle a lot. It's fine. The plasma cutter hits so hard now that I can afford to miss a shot or two, and we'll still be okay. Sorry, I like making his head wiggle.
Kind of why the line gun's so useful is because you just aim down a little bit and fire, like when everything's too scary. It's like just
Close your eyes
almost
and,
no aiming.
and shoot. Yeah. It's very nice. What if I pulled it? Oh, wait, no, that's a security phone, not a fire alarm. Dang. Hey, another node. And we'll save. Even though we just saved, every time I see a save station, I will use it. And let's do a shoot.
Yeah.
Manual override initiated.
That's a meme. That's a big old meatus right there.
Oh. Hey, y'all gotta stop doing this thing that you're doing. They're moving too fast. I hate this.
Yep, one of them. Here you go. Just a little weakly.
This is horrible.
Yeah, if you throw it from one corner like to the other one, you just can't turn fast enough to get it.
Also, where they end up letting it go when they do throw the stuff is very different from where it actually ends up going. I'm gonna die, I think.
I reckon you're about halfway. You got about half your health. Definitely doable. It's just very weakly.
Please. Sir, you threw that, like, on me, directly.
Oh, gee, and you went way too close.
Hull integrity critical.
Yeah, I know. Here's the thing, though. We're getting the meat out of here.
Meat removed.
Opening
I mean-
communications array blast doors.
It's like a big hand just grabbing the comms array.
Yeah.
Kayshurrr, come in. Do not open the escape pod. USM balance.
Hey, I think they might have opened the escape pod.
Come in. Do not open the escape pod. Damn it. Spawn.
Oh no!
Why'd you open the dang pod?
It's headed right for us.
Kendra, I know. I'm trying. I tried, Kendra! Can't be mad at me, I attempted.
Wish I could just talk to someone. It's all falling apart here.
This is like
Isaac.
extremely System Shock, by the way.
Isaac,
So
are you there?
System Shock 2 follows like exactly.
Thank God you're alright.
Yeah.
I've been trying to reach you.
I've never actually played System Shock.
Remotely.
I think
A
I've
crash
got
must have
System
interrupted the
Shock
signal
2.
block.
Yeah, I ain't tried
Where have you been?
making it work on this computer.
Barely.
Oh.
We could do that.
That'd be fun.
Listen, I'm calling abort on the mission.
But
Fuck the
you spend
CDC
most
and
of the
fuck the chain of command. We have to get the hell out of here.
most of System Shock 2 on the Rickenbacker, and then the Von Braun shows up to offer help. And that pack is kind of ass, but also.
I can see the tail end of it sticking out from the side of the Ishimura.
We've seen this before.
I'm headed down there now to find a way inside.
It's fine, it's a good way
I'll
to
meet you
escalate.
there.
The threat?
Oh, absolutely.
If what he says is true about the shuttle, we might have a chance of getting out of here. Head to the cargo bay and see if you can help
And it
him.
lets us see, like,
In his condition,
hey,
he may
like,
not
no
last long.
arm of this thing can get to, like, human civilization, or it's just meat. It's gonna be meat.
Gonna have an oops all meat situation on our hands.
It happens very fast. We don't want this.
Like. Open.
I don't think it does on this, but on in System Shock 2, the Rickenbacker goes out of control and crashes upside down into the
Oh!
Von Braun. So when you go in, it's all upside down.
Oh! That's cool.
That pays ass though.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
System Shock 2 is very good, but then it stops being very good like 3/4 of the way through, and it never.
Oh, so it does. It does a Resident Evil 7.
Yeah. Good way to put it.
Real great game until it's not.
Yeah, and then you just playing it because you feel obligated to finish at that point.
You're that close. You might as well. Not gonna be happy about it, but you're gonna do it. Alright. Wait, is that this chapter done already? I don't know
That
where
did
I'm
seem
going.
very short.
Yeah, but
We
the
had,
last one
like-
was also real long.
Yes, that's fair.
But that seemed... We can't be done yet.
I'd be very surprised if that were the end, but
Who's groaning out here? No!
I kind of love this Wiggly Man because it's just so horrible. It's real bad.
Awful to look
It
at.
explodes in a little spider. This is something like Strand's thing. It's
Yeah.
great.
No, it's very good creature design. I absolutely hate it. When your monster grosses me out, you've done it right. Very good. I want to hurl. It's a bad man. I like his little coat.
Well, you saw the bits earlier and you're like, that's just face huggers. Come on, game. I was like, I'm not saying nothing.
Just you wait. Oh, I waited and it was awful and I regret everything. Gonna spend the last of my money on ammo, because why not? We didn't have that much money.
And at this point, power nodes are just if you feel like it.
Yeah. Gotten very
Yeah,
good
you're
at
gone.
very good at smushing the boy without that was one of the things. Without exploding his belly, and that's great.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we are done with this chapter. Weird.
Guess it was just a long one and then a short one.
Yeah.
That one mostly just like telling us the situation with the military ship. I think next time we'll be like heading over to see what's going on with that.
Mm-hmm. We've got 4 chapters left. No? 5?
Yeah, there's 12 chapters in the game.
Yeah. So next weekend, basically. Whoa.
Yeah.
That'll be nice because that'll give us a week off. We'll have 1 weekend before the next game. So yeah.
What are we gonna do for a week off?
I don't know.
Isaac.
Oh. I will get
I'll
jump
leave it
scared
to
next
jump
time.
scare us next time.
Yup. It'll be great and fun and perfect. Let me exit out of the game.
Just a very good game, Dead Space. I've really enjoyed going back through this one with you.
Yeah, it's been
It's
very
nice to
nice.
play a game where there's not like a big caveat to being like this game rules.
Yeah, it's just across the board. It's all very good, as opposed to being like, hey, I really like these parts of the game, but this one's kind of shitty. No, it's good all across, and I love it. Like I said, like I haven't played it since like it came out.
Yeah, it's been ages.
So there's been a lot that I've forgotten. But it's held up so well, and I like it. I'm glad we're playing it. We need to find someone to raid. Nogi is on.
Oh,
Doing some Tiny Tina's Wonderlands? Is that the new-ish Borderlands thing?
I think it's a Borderlands thing.
Okay. Well, we'll go to hang out with Nogi.
Yeah.
It's been a minute. So yeah, as always, thanks y'all for being here. Thanks Rudy for streaming with me. We're gonna start the raid this time, as opposed to doing what I did yesterday. Although
you already brought it up, I missed it.
Oh no, that's fine. Always bring it up again. Do it.
I'll close in my pop-out chat. Just so I showed that White wasn't raiding me over before.
Makes sense. But yeah, well, I'll be streaming tomorrow, probably some Village, I think we're gonna finish that out.
Nice.
And then we'll finish this next weekend. But until then, I love you, friends. Take care, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.